I'm a little guy. But anyways, the floor. Oh, I should totally put this up on the screen. That would probably actually do something.
AV class. Maybe one of these days we could actually like plan out our AV selection, like do a real one.
Okay, come on, it's using the Mac. It's not like you know.
NDI works on a Mac.
A little bit bigger. There we go. Sweet.
Nice. Okay. So I love JavaScript so much that I used a JavaScript framework to make these slides called Reveal.js. Anyway, bookmarklets. Simplify work with JavaScript by Veronica Eulenberg. JavaScript is my favorite language because I'm good at it. I have to tell people that I'm good at it and not that I just like it. I know you probably hate JavaScript, but by the end of this, you might hate it a little less. Because from what I've heard, most of the people here are lower level programmers or security people. And so JavaScript is awful. Story time. Okay, so how did I find out about the magic of bookmarklets? So I was at work and I was in the QA queue. And so, you know, I was a front-end developer and I pushed my code up, and then the QA team, they're like, okay, now this person. So you have to keep track of where you are in this long queue of 100 people or something. And then I told my coworker, hey, this is so tedious, I hate it. And then he said, use my bookmarklet. You click on it, and then you can just see your name in the queue. What? And so that's where my love for bookmarklets blossomed. And then in my next job, where I had a tedious job of clicking the same buttons over and over again. And there were several sequences of buttons where I had to click. And so so it was a data annotation job. So I had to click on verbs and nouns. And so when I would see a similar thing, I would just click my bookmarklet and it would click those buttons for me. And most recently, I like watching YouTube, and they updated their UI where it's really annoying for me. If things move in the distance and I can see it, I hate it. Like, I don't know what it is about it. But so they updated their UI where every once in a while the number goes up for views and for likes, and then the little logo moves, and it's really annoying for me. So I created a bookmarklet that just deletes everything off the page except for the YouTube video. Okay. Oh, well, I just explained. Okay, what is a bookmarklet? Maybe I should have done that first. A small JavaScript program saved as a bookmark solves repetitive tasks with a single click, customized actions for specific websites. So if you have a repetitive task that you hate and you don't want to do over and over again, and it's in a web browser, you can use JavaScript to automate it for you. Like a sequence of, oh, I need to write things in input fields over and over again. You can just press a bookmarklet and it'll automatically fill out a form for you, for example. Okay, why use a bookmarklet? Web scraping, quickly extract info, productivity, automate repetitive web tasks, customization, improve usability with CSS changes. Okay, so I already said all of that before, so you understand. You probably hate CSS as well, because most people that hate JavaScript hate CSS. Well, I love CSS as well.
That sounds important.
Yes, in order to make most bookmarklets involve CS. You need to be good at selecting things, but I have a feeling that backend developers can do it too, because like with regular expressions, I don't know, I love sequence, I love all that. I love puzzles, I love colors and numbers and shapes. So yes, so just identifying patterns. I think all programmers are good at that. That is the whole point of programming, is recognizing a pattern and then making it smaller. But not too small. I mean, you can make it smaller for a computer, but then for a human, make it a little bit bigger so that you understand what you wrote. There's a balance. Anyway, want to use a bookmarklet. Waiting in queue and want to easily track your place. Repeatedly clicking sequence you want to automate. Annoyed by page elements and want them removed. I already said all of that before. How to create a bookmarklet. Write JavaScript code or ask AI to generate it. Yes, you don't have to write JavaScript yourself. You can ask ChatGPT to write it for you, or whatever, Copilot, whatever you use to write it for you. And then make sure that it's actually doing what you want it to do with your amazing programming skills. And then you just paste it into a bookmarklet in the URL field. And then you just go to your page and you click on it and it does what you want it to do. Okay, here's the basics.
What question?
Oh, question?
Yes, so if you're putting your JavaScript in the URL field of the bookmarklet, could you execute the same code in the address bar?
In where?
In the address bar itself?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Could you execute the same code in the address bar?
In the, theoretically, yes.
I did not realize you could actually do that.
Guess what? It's amazing.
Well, you just paste here. We could try it right now. See what happens.
The answer is yeah, there. So JavaScript is going to run in the same DOM.
The
Wait.
awesome bar turns into a search query. If you have both the address bar and the search bar enabled, Firefox will do it. Some browsers will, some browsers won't. It's
Yeah,
fine.
this one just searches. 'Cause I'm using Brave now. Yes, I have changed browsers.
But I didn't realize that JavaScript in the address bar would execute.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Yep, depends.
So here. So see, I have the bookmarklet right here. And it's not working.
Live presentations are always hard. Yeah.
Wait, is the present what?
It should work.
It looks right. It's a little.
Oh, right. I sorry. I did not troubleshoot before coming over here. Okay. Oh, it's not coming through. What? It's showing on. Wait, why
Oh,
is it
it
showing?
shows up
Share
in the
your
center of the
screen,
primary
not the
monitor.
browser.
Because you share just the one window.
Yeah.
So it's working. We just
I thought
can't-
this would be part of the
No,
browser.
No,
No.
it's not. So
Okay.
here, one
I think
second.
it's just Safari that it is.
So if you come over here and now share your entire screen. So now when you do it,
This next slide.
oh, sorry. There it goes.
Okay, there we go. So, yes. Let's start with a simple hello world. So let me explain. So this right here, JavaScript, that tells the browser, this is JavaScript. And then this is the really simple code, just alert, hello world. That is very simple JavaScript. And then you put it in the function and you make it executable right away. You want the function to execute right away. So that's what this does. Okay. So I just showed, so this is what it's going to look like. You paste it in, and that's what it looks like. Okay, things to keep in mind, modern browser limit URL size to 2,000 to 8,000 characters. Yeah. So you can put in quite a lot of code in there, but I have accidentally written a bookmarklet that's too large, and I'll show you what happens when that happens. If you put too many characters in the URL, it doesn't work. Anyway, test your code in the browser console so that you don't have to constantly save the bookmarklet and then click it. You can just run it in the, maybe you don't know. You click inspect, and then you go to the console, and then you go, and you run it. Oh, I tested my code. Okay. And then comments need to be multi-line block comments. So this is an inline comment in JavaScript. This will not work in a bookmarklet because the whole code is inline. So this would just break everything. And then same thing with semicolons. You have to, I mean, backend developers are used to semicolons anyway, so, but not all front-end developers are. But here it's important because, again, it's all inline. So here we go. This is a block JavaScript comment, so this will work. And then here I have a semicolon at the end, so this would work. But this would not work because of the stuff at the top. Yes?
So it's almost like inlining SQL statements where you also have to end with a semicolon, correct? I think people.
It's because all of your new lines get dropped,
Yeah,
and so
but you have to, with SQL, you have to.
SQL, they're truly mandatory. In this case, they're taking the place of a new line.
It's minified JS at the end of the day. So the reason for a block comment there is so you can actually say this is like a true comment, because once it's minified, you are literally on one line. So if you're looking at like,
I'm looking at the semicolons.
Yeah.
but this
It's like Python. Python has semicolons. You don't have to use them, and you only ever need them when you want to grab things on one line.
Okay,
Same structure.
sorry for interrupting.
You sound like you know what you're talking about. Okay, or else, if you don't do what I say, you will have an unexpected end of input error.
well timed.
Examples. Okay,
So
dark mode. Oh,
I have a question.
yes.
So you're talking about bookmarklets right now. What would be the advantage of this, say, over running a Selenium driver?
So
You
this
don't have
is
to install
not
the
for
driver.
testing. So you can do similar stuff, but this is not really for testing your code. This is for enhancing your web experience.
So I'm actually gonna counter this.
So once I go through the examples, you will see.
Yeah,
Like dark mode, developers love dark mode.
oh, yeah.
So let me
It
ask
pisses my boss off every day.
So I was gonna, hold on, interrupt. My line here is tell our developers about bookmarklets because they look like they can be used for QC testing very rapidly. So I actually already see something to learn from this, and it's like QC testing can use this because it's good.
What
Enter
is
in
QC testing?
quality control.
Oh, right.
So.
Quality control, quality assurance, so
So
many
what-
acronyms.
Would you, right along your point, and for you as well, for that, would you, maybe you have this later and we're getting way ahead, but when you do like QC there, would you use it just for like a quick, like you do it with Selenium too, where you just use it for a quick, like, let me log in, let me test this function, because
Yeah.
this is a function that I'm going to have to test no matter the iteration of our application.
Yeah, so it can be used on top of Selenium if you have specific things. Yeah, if you want fast iteration. Because I know there's developers out there that manually fill out forms a lot. So you can use a bookmarklet to quickly fill out a form when you're trying to fix things in the back end. And
Okay.
yeah.
I may or may not have totally used that to automate filling out things in CA request tracker.
In where?
A really awful ticketing system.
Oh, CA Technologies.
What
What do you mean, like service never?
No,
No, it's.
Hey, I'm not the only one that says
So,
that.
Imagine the things you don't like about ServiceNow, multiply them by like 20, and then give to a company that treats technology like Broadcom.
it's amazing software. It's really.
That was dripping with sarcasm.
No, it
there.
wasn't.
It will amaze and astound you at how bad it is.
Yeah.
And how.
Before I say
amazing.
anything, let's talk,
Sorry.
President Vera, I'm sorry. Our team's been great.
Well,
We have
once
bots.
I show you some examples, you'll understand.
Mhm.
So dark mode, I had these just in case I wouldn't be able to go online, but here I can. So you go to your Wikipedia page. Oh no, it's so bright. Dark mode. Oh, it's dark now. No, I know, but I don't want to go all the way down there. Oh, that is, I have, oh, but I have this. Dark mode. And then my slides are automatically dark mode. So I'm like, oh, I hate dark mode. I'm gonna turn it light mode. So it basically, if you have a dark page, you can turn it light. If you have a light page, you can turn it dark.
So Veronica, are you doing this with CSS? Changing with applied?
Yes. So I will show you the code. I did it in the so I teach kids code, and I've learned that I need to show the result first. Because I used to show the code first, and
It's
I
not
thought,
the
you know what,
same
it's
thing.
probably better to show the result first.
I mean, I am a 30-year-old child, so there's that.
But here's the CSS. So you invert the colors by rotating the hue 180 degrees, whatever that means.
That's pretty neat.
So I mean, I guess I understand how this works. If you've seen a hue chart and you rotate 180 degrees, then you get the opposite color.
If you have a certain website that is like not just light or dark, but it's actually colored, what happens?
So you can just change whatever color.
So what I think.
But okay, so here oh wait. So the reason why I did HTML image video, so I don't want the image and video to be inverted. So basically what this does is it first inverts HTML, but then the image and video, it inverts it back. So it goes back to, so it goes 360 degrees.
For those
Or-
3 tags.
Right? 180 plus 180.
Yep.
Anyway, what was the question?
Oh, I was just saying the HTML video tags there, those are the only 3 that are being impacted by your 360 rotation. Is that
Yeah,
what you
so
were just saying?
HTML, it impacts the whole page.
Right?
But then it zones in on the image and video tags and inverts them back.
Right, got it.
And so invert doesn't stack, rotate does. And so
I'll say,
your images will get inverted and then rotated again, and so they're zeroed. But everything else is just getting inverted once by HTML.
So if you just do HTML, then everything will be inverted.
Yeah, including your video, which you don't want.
But I don't want to watch an inverted video. Anyway, and then this is the cool thing about Reveal.js. So this is why I chose Reveal.js as my slide making framework, is that you can well, there's like actually no, this is highlight. So they have the highlight framework in there already, or highlighter code. Yeah, it uses highlight.js. So anyway, and then you can arrow through the code. So first, if the dark mode toggle element exists, it adds it to my script. And And then, so if it exists, then it removes it. And then if it doesn't exist, then it creates it and it adds it to the head of the HTML file.
So for posterity, can we head back over to our example and inspect for it?
You want to inspect it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's right here.
I mean, I asked her to show me. I've been shown.
So, but just to confirm, when you ran that bookmarklet, it added that code to the page.
Yeah, so with bookmarklets, you can manipulate the page however you want.
Fascinating.
And you could hit it again while the inspector is up and we should see it disappear.
So now it's not there anymore because I removed it. And then I add it and it's there again.
So how,
I just see a way to remove Google ads for some reason.
What?
Removing Google ads and things
Google
like that.
ads? Well,
I'm anxious to see the YouTube theater.
Mhm.
you can, I'm not saying anything.
you can thank Google v Nintendo again.
Anyway. Okay, YouTube theater mode. That's what I did recently because of the recent UI changes that I hated. So, this is a pretty enthusiastic YouTube tutorial guy, and I thought it would be pretty meta for me. I use the word meta in a different term than some gamers do. I'm talking about the thing that I'm talking about. Anyway, so bookmarklets video. Then you click on the bookmarklet and it just deletes everything. And I don't have any distractions. Also, this kind of prevents me from searching for more videos. I mean, I can just refresh the page and then go back, but
Now, is that a toggle?
but then I have these videos. I'm like, ooh, after I finish this video, I can click on that and then click on it. But then if you have this, once you finish watching, well, actually at the end of the video, it does still show you recommendations, but it's less. The reason why I made this, oops. Okay, the reason why I made this is because this number keeps changing throughout the video, and this number keeps changing throughout the video, and then if there's a holiday, then this image changes throughout the video, and I don't like it. Anyway, so here's the code. I like watching things at 1.5 speed or 2 speed, depending on how slow they're talking. And so you select the video, query selector. There's query selector and query selector all. Query selector selects the first thing, query selector all selects everything, and then you get an array. So, and then masthead, secondary, and below are, so in JavaScript, if it's an ID that already exists, you can just select that ID just using that. But that would be the same as document.getElementById or document.querySelector, and then it's the hashtag or #, or sharp, waffle.
Octothorpe, tons of names for it.
Yeah.
I think it's technically called the fragment selector in HTML, but nobody calls it that.
I call it the ID selector. Actually, I say hashtag, but that's because I'm a wannabe millennial.
It's the Octothorpe. The Octothorpe,
Octothorpe.
That is
Oh,
the
that
full
is
name.
fancy.
yes.
Octothorpe. Wow.
Tell that to my Amazon driver. Townside blew his mind. Octopus gonna rock his world.
It really is the technical term.
So I made this bookmarklet to show the complexity. I I don't know if I would ever use this myself, but I couldn't really think of a complex thing on the spot. And I couldn't really show you what I do at work. That was pretty complex. Well, I mean, I guess I could show you. I have a, well, this would be off topic, but I think it's funny. I did make a fake job website using AI. And so this is basically what I'm talking about with Alice, Bob, Charlie, Dana. So there's this huge line, and then you want to select your text. That's what I was talking about. Anyway, so with bookmarklets. Okay, here, I'll show you how this works. Highlight terms. So you can click through the terms and they're highlighted.
Right, so you can search for multiple terms, same time.
Yeah, you can search for as many terms as you want. Well, the script that I make has up to 8 terms. So let's I don't know.
That's honestly pretty useful.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because the factory search only does a single term.
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like Command F, you can only search for one, but what if you want to search for multiple terms?
Oh, no, there's multiple times and you pull up the same website and split screen.
Yeah, I've done that.
And then you're just like, son of a gun, and then your eye,
Do I just curl this into graph at this point?
no, you don't, no. Everyone in the room's like, no.
And then I like that it scrolls to the thing that's being highlighted. The one thing I would change is that it would get rid of the red thing, but I didn't want to look too much into it. I thought that this would show enough where it just shows up and it scrolls to it.
Honestly, if
Every
you don't-
time it reaches one highlighted element, that's when you get the red boundary box.
I
Yeah.
like that.
So
Yeah, I mean,
you
it's
click
useful.
on it and then it highlights it. So this is the last one. And then if you click through all of them, it will loop back to the top.
That's great.
But that's where the problem comes in with not knowing which one is being highlighted. So that's one thing that I would fix is I would get rid of the red thing. And one way to do that is go back and
So you're saying you would keep the red box, you would just have it clean up after itself, after it moves from
yeah,
term to
I
term?
just didn't want to add more code.
I mean, truthfully
That's-
speaking.
It's very easy. I've done it before.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind sharing this with us, then we can attempt to disseminate it down too, because I mean, hell, that right there, I would love to use that when I'm searching through Amazon Docs.
Yeah, I could share it.
We'll get it at the end of the session.
Okay.
Should we get this all the code at the end of the session?
Oh, yeah.
So here is the code that does it. So when I first made this, there was too much. This is why I brought up that there's a limit to characters, because when I first made this, there were too many characters. So I had to make the code smaller so that it would fit in the bookmarklet. But this fits. So here's the 8 colors, and then you can change this to whatever colors you want. That it's hex codes right now, but you can use whatever terminology you want. Anyway, so this is the setup. So as you've seen before, but this is the more complicated version of it. I kind of vibe coded with this. Because when I normally code, I don't use object assign personally. Anyway, so position fixed, top 0, index not, because you know you want your buttons to be on top of the page. So you do Z index. I do 9. If you can put more characters into your bookmarklet, you can put more 9s in there.
What's the position of most website elements?
It's all zero by default.
Yeah, some people love to put a ton of 9s in, but it's kind of redundant. Like you see in the nav bar, if you ever inspect the element of the nav bar, a lot of the times there's like 5 9s. And I think, why are they doing that? You can just put a 3 in there or something.
Guy with the nav bar doesn't trust anyone else on the page to use numbers small or small.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess you can put as many 9s as you want.
With that bookmarklet in specific, would it do, like full strings or just single words?
Sorry, I don't
Would it
understand
do
your
full
question.
strings, so say like,
The
if you're
search-
searching for someone's name, like first name, last name,
Yeah.
would it query for that? Cause I see your splitter is just on a column.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, the splitter. So you know,
So as long as the string,
CSV files, they're comma delimited, so you can view it in the same way. So if you have a space, so
so if
here,
you
let's do
search like,
Steve Kangas. There's one.
okay, so it doesn't sort that.
Yeah, it doesn't split on spaces.
Okay.
Yeah, it's split on commas.
Okay.
So you're screwed if it's last name, comma, first name.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Well,
You just found a flaw in my code. So if you do that, then it will.
Search both terms, but not together.
Sounds like you have to make a pull request.
So if you do this, yeah,
yeah.
that's what would happen.
Oh. Interesting.
That's why JavaScript.
But you could put in,
You can start escaping.
so, okay, so one way to fix it, which is how I've noticed CSV does, is, well, it's not gonna work here, but you could do this, because there's no comma Steve Kangas. But you can make it so that if it sees quotes, you can make more things in there, or you could do like actually, I don't know.
So there's tons of ways to do it, but the current implementation doesn't do any of that.
You can JavaScript your JavaScript.
So like you could do something like this maybe. And then in the code, when you have full, then or no, actually not, sorry. Not like that. Here. So you make a pull request where if you do something like that, it would with regular expressions or something, it would delete that, and then it would just search for this in the.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Because I'll show you in the code. Regular expression.
I mean, technically what we're needing is a custom tokenizer if we use the $5 word for it. Not that kind of tokenizer, well, kind of that kind of tokenizer.
There's still pizza left.
We're down to 3 pieces.
We're like 3 pieces away from a crisp $5 bill. Okay, so it's about 3 pieces away from a JQ bill.
I think this might be what.
2 pieces.
We may want to leave the exercise for the reader, for the viewer in this
Yeah.
case.
You're
If we have terribly nerdy, my view right now.
No, it's right here. So see,
Yeah.
it's split comma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
you could modify it out.
instead of doing split comma, you can put in
you have to make your own function for it, probably.
yeah, somehow tokenize it.
Yeah,
Or you could be like some other crazy people and just inject all of jQuery into the page and use jQuery.
no, I get how you would do it
Then you
there.
get the-
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you just add a script tag.
But I just wanted to make a simple one, or sorry, a simple, complicated one.
By the way, how close are you to the character limit of the URL with that? How close are you to the character limit of the URL?
I'm not
Probably
sure.
like,
But when I first did it, it was maybe 50 characters over the limit. And so I pasted it into ChatGPT and I told it, can you make this smaller?
so, one thing to think about those character limits, so those exist, but they're so large for when you start doing like sample assertions and relay states in your URLs. So, like, yeah, you can hit it, but the average layman's not gonna hit it. So it's not really something to be explicitly concerned about. Even then, you could
Unless you
like,
do like he said and insert jQuery library in there and just cut and paste it.
I mean, you could also base 64 encoded at the end of the day and then
Set up
decode
all
it
the
out.
malware scanners.
Would it respond to it?
What you do is you do string eval on the output of it, not a string eval, but you effectively
You can ignore.
all
things
code
that
is
you-
strings in JavaScript. You can do some really crazy stuff with it. You should never do that because you'll set the malware scanners off.
Is this like where you go and paste your code into the obfuscator and it's up?
Let's jump back to our speaker.
Yeah.
Okay, please continue.
We're like a bunch of cats.
Okay.
Today.
Well, since you're such nerds, I want to talk about the code.
You're the presenter.
So the first part is the setup. The second part, now, okay, so this mumbo jumbo. I mean, I understand what it's doing, but ChatGPT did fully write this because, so when I was trying, this is a common thing that I over the years, I kept on running into and I kept on forgetting why it's not working. So let me know if you ran into this issue. So you're looping over a bunch of elements and then you're adding the onClick function and then only the last element gets that onClick function. Over the years, I keep running into this issue and every time I forget what the solution is. The problem, the reason why it's not working is because the DOM is being manipulated. And so it's like, no more script for you, because it loses its place.
If you replace a parent element after having, which one thing is if you grab a parent element to JavaScript land, make changes into the children of it in JavaScript land through the DOM, and then you replace that parent element that you've mutated from outside, you'll make all your changes, and then you'll just replace them with a version you haven't changed yet. I've done that before. I've also gone through a loop with an iterator, accidentally trying to use the iterator outside of loop, which outside of use strict mode, that's still valid in JavaScript, and it just contains the last entry from when the loop was running, and that you're not actually in the loop.
Yeah.
Or if you accidentally use break instead of when you meant to use continue.
Yeah. ChatGPT also suggested using a tree walker. I don't remember why I chose this instead of the tree walker though. I think it's just because both of them use a similar number of characters.
Because you get the spread operator there, which I didn't.
Well, okay, here, let me walk you through what it does. So query selector all. So first it selects all the elements that are not a script or a style element. And then it iterates through each element here, element, and it gets the child nodes. Then it iterates through, see, for each, another for each. So it iterates through all the child nodes. And then a reason why people hate JavaScript is because of the arrow functions. I understand the arrow functions. So this is a number. So the arrow function. So node type. So it's checking if the node type is a 3. See, this is where the vibing comes in, is I'm not really sure what node type 3 is. I just know that this is an attribute of n, which is a child node. And then, so regex test, so it's testing whether that node has text content. So if it doesn't have text content, then it's false. The ampersand, double ampersand, it means and. So it's testing a bunch of things. If node type 3, it doesn't have text content. Oh,
but that means you're searching with regexes.
no, here, this is something I just learned. Oh, maybe I learned before, but I relearned it today. Text content and inner text are different. For the longest time, I thought it was the same. Turns out text content sees hidden text as well, and inner text sees only visible text. And so therefore, text content is faster because it just sees everything, and inner text is slower because it has to compute the visible text first.
So as in whether it's present in the current window or not, or present in the current window in the pane, I should say.
What? Sorry, I can't hear you very well.
I'm sorry. So when you say visible versus not visible, it is currently present within the visible browser pane. Is that what determines that?
Oh, right. Okay, CSS. So if an element has display none, that means it's not visible.
Okay.
Or visibility hidden. I haven't done this in a while. I think it's visibility hidden, then it's also not visible. I think.
Like, have you ever
Don't quote me on that.
From Wikipedia and notice how the print layout is like completely different than the view on page layout?
Because if you go inspect element, you will still see the text. So but if you just look at it, it's like, oh, I don't know how
It's like
pages work. Oh, it says highlights all occurrences.
at one point, Facebook would inject tons of non-visible text into the word sponsor, make it harder to select for sponsored posts and ad blockers.
What? Sponsor?
So like on Facebook's ad posts, they have the word sponsored on them.
Yeah.
They used to inject tons of either invisible text or text that wouldn't render for other reasons to make it very difficult to pragmatically identify those posts.
Oh.
So you could
yeah.
make it much harder to hit them with ad blockers.
That's possible. Yeah. So basically, text that's not visible, meaning that it is visible if you inspect the element.
So
That's the short answer.
if it's not currently rendering, I guess. I mean, that's iffy.
Okay, moving on. Replace with. I'm replaced with.
I don't know what the precedence of the spread operator is in there.
Oh, so n.text content. So okay. So this is an array. The spread operator spreads the array into a bunch of items. So that just means that replaced with deals with.
So is spread going to operate over the result of the map, or is it going to operate over the result of the split, or the result of the whole statement? I have no idea.
Oh, well, the map is a method of an array. So I know that this is an array because of split.
Yeah.
And split uses, where does regex come from?
Was that earlier?
It's up there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, oh, that's right. To avoid extra characters, I used a comma instead of using another let. So it saves 2 characters. Anyway, right. Regex is this. Right. Okay. Where are we? So this is an array. Then it maps over. Okay, map. What is a map? It means you can manipulate each item in an array with a map. Match Okay, another thing, ternary operators. So question mark, it just, actually, I don't remember where this was, but I did see a ternary operator where it's backwards from what I'm used to, but I don't remember which language this was in.
Python is backwards.
Python's
Yeah,
backwards.
you use
Okay,
if and
so I
else.
was programming in Python for a bit, and then I realized that's why it's not intuitive, because it's not consistent across languages. Because yeah, in Python it's backwards, but in JavaScript it's, and I think in C# as well, it's first if then else. I've been learning C# recently. So all of this is if, and then this is else. So that means if the text node contains the text that you're searching, it does all of this. Otherwise, recreate it.
Yeah. So I guess
I mean, that is what it's doing, but I don't know if there's a better way of doing this.
you are going to have to split them into elements because you can't apply style to just a few characters. Okay, you can. But that's the black magic.
Yeah,
This is a reasonable way to do it.
I'm glad you think so. I know what it does, but I don't know if this is the best way to do it.
So
I don't
Google
think there is a
still gives
best
you
way.
weird answers. So what's the second block of text?
The second block?
Your let's,
What?
your, let's move down.
This one?
We've gone through one block of text, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, we just went over this one.
Yeah. So
So the next one, simpler. You just get all the terms that you just have. So you know, when it said JavaScript, so it counts all of those. First, there's another way of doing it. That's just how I did it. Okay, and then it creates a button and
create a button based upon each match that it found on the applicable DOM.
yeah, so I guess maybe I should have highlighted both of these, because first so it creates a button, and then in the next block of code, it adds the onClick function to the button, and then the index. So as you're clicking on the button, it raises the index so that it goes to the next element.
Yeah.
And then smooth behavior. That's how you can scroll smoothly. So if I didn't have that, it'd just go chop, chop, chop. I feel like with the smooth behavior, you can see more easily where it's going. But that's my opinion. You can have choppy scroll if you would like. And then this, so as the index increases, in order to roll over, it divides by the match length. Math. Oh, maybe I should have just done this. I forgot that I did that. I have the blocks of code here. So first it's set up to recap. First it's set up, and then it loops through the terms, and then it adds color to text on page, and then it creates the buttons for the text, and then it adds the on-click buttons. Yay. Security concerns. Risks of running unknown bookmarklets. So only run bookmarklets that you understand, because you can run any JavaScript in there. So you can run APIs in there as well. With fetch, the JavaScript, or Ajax, whatever you want to use. I like to use fetch. Potential for data theft, or I think Ajax is underneath fetch. I haven't looked too deeply into that. All I know is that Ajax was first. Potential for data theft or malicious actions. That's if you copy someone else's code and you don't know what it's doing. Use only trusted bookmarklets, review the code. I just realized I ran this, I wrote the same thing 3 times. But you know, run code that you know. Conclusion. Bookmarklets are simple and powerful tools that anyone can create with a bit of JavaScript magic. They enhance productivity, eliminate distractions, and improve your browsing experience. Create your own today. Thank you. Simplify work with JavaScript Bookmarklets by Veronica Eulenberg.
Yay.
Any questions? You have a question.
I have many questions. Most of them are serious. First is kind of serious, but not really. I think we use meta the same way, but how do gamers use it?
Oh, it's a. How about a gamer explains it?
I probably don't count, but I'll try. So meta in gaming is just short for metagame instead of like meta-analysis. And metagame generally refers to strategies that are particularly prevalent in a game at a given time. So if I say the current meta is to use Bob's sword because it's better than everything else in the game, and a meta patch might be something a developer does to a game to change that, make Bob's sword weaker, to nerf it. Boy, maybe make something else stronger to buff it.
Thank you.
Didn't
That was a very good description.
What is it doing with the JavaScript when we save the bookmark? Is it saving it as a cookie or?
So, just like how you would save a page in the bookmarks bar, it's exactly the same. It's just saving the script. So here's the hello world script.
So you want to know the first answer?
So it's local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in all major browsers, this is a SQLite database.
It's inline, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it saves the same way you would save a bookmark.
So, so my last question: when you hit that bookmark, is it if you're already on the page, like you went to that YouTube page, if you're already on that page and you hit that bookmark, is it essentially refreshing the page?
No, it's just running a script. So you can either run a bookmarklet. So here. Oh, look at me, my JavaScript slides. Okay. Here. So you just copy this JavaScript, and then in the console, so anywhere on any page, you can look inside their page, and you can see their HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then you can modify it with JavaScript and CSS and HTML. But here I'm showing you how to do it with JavaScript. Oh, but when you're pasting it in, the only difference is, so JavaScript : is how you would tell the browser that this is JavaScript. So when you're running code in the console, you just write the code in there like this, and then.
But I guess the reason I'm asking because I'm especially interested in your YouTube example.
Yeah.
So the reason I ask is it seems like you could load like especially large web app that takes a long time to load, you could load it faster using your JavaScript.
What do you mean load what faster?
Anything. So that YouTube page, you brought up the YouTube page and you got rid of everything except the video, right? So if I apply that to a large web app that takes a long time to load, and I only wanted to load one feature or section, would it be able to load faster?
Technically, no.
No,
I don't
because
think
you
so.
can't, you can't navigate until the current page load cycle is completed.
Well,
You have to wait
it
for this one.
depends. If the element that you want is lower on the page, you can try deleting the elements higher on the page or taking, because HTML, cascading style sheets, which is what CSS is, so it goes from top to bottom, and then programming goes, a lot of code goes asynchronous, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but like HTML, it loads from top to bottom, but there are some things that are asynchronous when you do lazy loading, for example, with images. But you can try, it depends on what it is. You can try deleting an element that's higher on the page than taking an element lower on the page to load, because it is one by one. So if it's trying to load the first element first before it's loading the second element, you can try deleting the first element and see if it loads faster.
Suffice to say, unless something is being lazy loaded, the earliest point at which you can remove it is after it is loaded. Because you don't get control back from the browser. It's still like, because your bookmarklets will run on the main thread, and the main thread's occupied at that time.
I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
The first time I ever saw this stuff, many years ago, the job was above, he had 7 kids. Okay? He was constantly looking for discounts on groceries. He lived in Indianapolis, and he would go and scan all the websites, all the grocery store chains in Indianapolis. And he would go to the URL, download it, and he would clip the coupons out of the web. He would take thousands of dollars of automatic, this little automatic routine where you would just go clip and boom, they would go to the website, click on, because they were all image files, they were all coupons. You would just go and pull out all the image files. And
Yeah, there's different use cases.
you know,
If you just want to do regular expressions, I've done that before. Before I knew more programming, I would use curl to get the page, and then I would use Python to parse it out. But yeah, or with APIs. But I think bookmarklets are most useful for visual things.
Because the images that he was going for.
Yeah. Or I haven't tried this yet, but one thing that's annoying with, maybe you already said that, I only heard part of what you said, but with coupons, it's annoying that you have to click on everything to get them, and so you can create a bookmarklet that clicks on all of them for you.
Then you just download and double, and they would.
Yeah.
Go to the store with cheap coupons.
Veronica, do you have any, because I'm not a developer to speak of, do you have any links you could recommend, places to learn more about how to do this?
I mean, you can search for bookmarklets. I haven't watched this video, but I like how enthusiastic he is. I watched some of his other videos about other stuff. I mean, yeah. I haven't really looked at any for specific bookmarklet stuff, but I just am very good at JavaScript and CSS, HTML, and so yeah, there are some websites that have bookmarklets in there, and if it's a link, you can drag and drop it into the bookmarks bar. Yes.
What is your favorite bookmark?
Well, I actually don't use bookmarklets for personal use very much, but I've used the Q. Like where I would see myself in the queue. I like that one because I don't like reading too much. So I like that I can just press a button and it tells me where I am. And then I don't like pressing the same buttons over and over again. So I like that. I like making buttons that help my job go by smoother. I mean, I suppose I really like the YouTube delete everything button because the elements on the page were annoying and now they're not because I removed them. What would you make?
So I've done some very silly ones, but the one I've used the most was one that just deletes all style tags and removes all inline styles.
Oh, wow.
So basically you have like a usage page.
Well, it takes the terrible, awful page filled with ads and backgrounds, makes it something mostly readable.
You want to make your web pages RFCs at the end of the day.
But then I just, turn everything into like one TP tag or something. There's a few that I remember fondly, but they're mostly replaced by built-in browser features now, and it's readability and print what you like. But pretty much every browser has a reader mode that's better at doing readability, what readability did, and readability, and print what you like. Is replaced by similar functionality.
I think the real difference between an extension and bookmarklet is just a lot faster to make. But with an extension, you can probably put more code in there.
If you want to see the terrifying middle ground, there are these things called user scripts.
Yeah.
And they're like the next step where you can have custom JavaScript run on pages that match certain patterns. And you might have fun if you take a look at them.
So I think we should totally look at this at Tommy Trent's.
I think that's probably a good
idea.
Yep.
All right.
Let me stop that. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Yeah.